right?
Yeah, I talked to that James Nash dude. Are we live? Can I just start talking?
Oh yeah, you're good.
I talked to that James Nash dude on Instagram just because I see him post a lot about like Asian meats and stuff, and he said you want to do like at least 3 weeks, like minimum. So I got some more time to go, but we'll see.
James is cool. He's doing it right.
Got a way cooler stash than you.
It's debatable. You'd be surprised how many compliments I get on this thing.
From First Flight or women?
No, it's a mustache community. People that have mustaches,
Oh,
they comment and
there's a page.
no, it's just more of a like live in person, like see them on the street type of thing.
Yeah, I think it's because you're a cop, you know.
Used to be, yeah,
Yeah.
former,
But yeah, that's cool.
former.
Yeah, so
Well, so,
I gotta cut those moose quarters up today. So that's just a lot of work, dude. One moose quarter is just huge. It takes forever.
and you packed that thing out solo.
No, that's been actually I'm a coward because I lied to the world on Instagram and said it was a solo moose hunt, and I posted that story. I don't know if you saw that. Like, what is a solo hunt? Do you need to actually kill the animal, gut the animal, breed it by yourself, and then stay there and eat the whole thing? A lot of people are telling me, mostly whitetail hunters probably that still live with mom, that it's not a solo hunt because I didn't carry it all out myself. I flew it out. So I flew in there, found the moose, killed the moose, called in the moose, videoed the moose, gutted the moose by myself, cut it up, which is an ass load of work. Flipping it over is probably the hardest part. Flipping over an animal that size, once you get the guts out and you do one side, gutless, you still have to get the guts out because you can't flip it with the guts in. That's 200 pounds. And then you got to flip it over after you've cut the head off. And then I packed it to some trees to hang it up. And then I flew a brother-in-law in, and he helped me pack it out a half mile. So that means I didn't do it solo. So yeah, I just like to apologize to absolutely fucking nobody, like a Nate Diaz, because I don't kill stuff for recognition on the gram. You know that.
Yeah, that was a Conor McGregor quote actually.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I
It's
gotta.
all right though.
I'll do
You
better.
guys, you guys probably don't have cable out there.
I don't have time for TV, that dude.
I consider it a solo hunt though. You went and killed it yourself. That's all that counts.
Well, I look at hunt of like different parts. Like if you go up and you shoot a bull with a bow, and you get it cut up and hung up in the trees, and you call buddies like, "Hey, I shot a bull in a hellhole. Let's come help me pack it out." The hunt's over. We're just retrieving the animal at this point. Like the hunting, the pursuing, the killing, that part's over. You've already started the processing to break down the animal like you need to do to get it cooled down and get the hide off and get it hung up. Now you're just getting the meat out. So, I mean, I thought it was a solo hunt. Maybe this whole time I've been killing moose by myself, but I haven't been packing them out by myself, so I've been lying to everyone. But I don't want to. I don't want to pack a moose out by myself. I thought this one might actually be the real case. Like I couldn't get anyone. Like no one was going to come help, and I'm like, all right, the time has come. You done fucked up, but I was able to con someone into flying up to help, so that was cool.
Now, how far are you from the plane to get the meat to the plane?
When I shot it, I was a couple miles away, but I hunt places where I've part of my scouting and previous years of hunting, I know where I can land, and I know walking into there when I'm on a stock, I'm like, okay. Once I'm to like within a mile of it, I'm like, okay, I can definitely land here to shuttle some meat out. It's game time. Like I can get within a mile. Anything after that is just a bonus. And I was able to get like a half mile away, but it was all uphill pack. There's some pretty swampy stuff, and then I was able to get about a half mile away. So it's a half hour pain. You got about 5 trips total with 2 dudes. You got 10 packs, and it's a half hour pain. And you can do anything for a half hour, you know?
That's how I look at it too. How heavy was that head? Just the head with the horns.
Um, After I had all that, when I got home, it had dried out. They lose a lot of weight quickly with drying out, but I think it was like right at 90 pounds with just the bone and the antlers. That was it. My daughter's last year was 103. It was a lot heavier, but they
Interesting.
they lose a lot of weight quickly.
Interesting. That's the biggest moose you've ever shot.
by far.
Probably the biggest one you'll ever kill.
I'm hopefully shoot the world record someday. I don't know.
You weren't far off though, right?
Yeah, I don't know what this one net scores. He'll net pretty high. He's really symmetrical. I don't like net scores at all. I just score everything gross. This one's 255 gross. He'll probably be high 240s net, and then I think the world record's like 266 net. So I'm within 20 inches probably of the world record, which is pretty astounding, you know. He's 74 wide. A lot of people with moose, they go off width, just like, oh, how big is that mule deer? Oh, he's 27 wide. Well, he could be a 3 point that's 27 inches wide. I'd rather
Sure.
keep 4 22-inch wide mule deer that scores better and it looks better. Um, so this one's wide. He's 74. I've shot a 73 before. Um, but he's got everything. He's got wide paddles. He's long. He's got a lot of points. You got to have it all to get that high of a score, and he's got it.
How is moose meat? I've never had it. Is it similar to elk at all, or does it have its own acquired taste, or what is it like?
It's really similar to elk, I think. I like elk too, but I think it's pretty similar. A little different tasting. A lot of moose are aquatic animals, but the moose I hunt, I don't really see them in ponds that much and stuff. Maybe in the summer when it's really hot, they'll live in the water when it's hot out, but um, real similar to elk meat, I'd say. Tana
What
was
about
that like we need another moose, and I'm like, we have 8 moose quarters in the walk-in meat cooler. Like 8 moose quarters is like 8 small Asian women hanging up. Like that's a lot. You know what I mean? And sorry to go all Ted Bundy on you there, but dude, like that's a lot of meat. And she's like, we went through 2.5 moose last year, and she's like, when you're tracking your food, which we both know I haven't been lately, and my trainer, I asked,
We'll get to that. Don't worry. We'll get to that.
you didn't tell me we were going to talk about that. Um, but yeah, she's like, when you're tracking your food, you eat 4 pounds of meat a day. I'm like, I don't eat 4 pounds of moose. That's like 500 grams of protein. She's like, no, as a family, we go through like 4 pounds of meat a day. So when you're adding it up, like we do need 2.5 moose. So we have a winter hunt out here. Might try and do that with a kid, but I don't know. We'll see.
What about caribou? Does that have acquired taste, or what's that like?
That's my favorite.
Really? Why?
It's just good. It's like a perfect mix between elk and moose. Like the best meat I think you can get is like, I mean, obviously a tenderloin or a backstrap, but I've taken a front shoulder off like a young caribou, like 12-inch antler, little dank bull, early August in velvet, shot him in the neck, and then front shoulder and cut a steak off and like put it into the on the barbecue and like you cut it with a fork, a front shoulder, and it's just so good, so tender. My wife shot one recently, and caribou are weird, dude. There's like I think it's like September 20th. It's kind of the cutoff, and she was a little bit before that, but I was just like, dude, I have a pretty sensitive palate when it comes to like ruddy taste. I wasn't raised on wild game. My dad hunted, but we didn't like eat a bunch of it. So we ate a lot of like steak and beef and stuff at the store. So I have like pretty sensitive palate, I think, to that stuff. And you can taste some of the ruddiness. Caribou, I think, are one of the worst ungulates when they go ruddy. I think they drink the piss. Like they
Hmm.
drink cow's piss, and that's what taints the liver, which taints the meat. That's just a rumor I've heard. Um, but I've heard stories where like sled dogs won't even eat caribou meat. Like it's that bad. There's like 3 weeks to a month where it's just nasty. But I've also shot in the winter after the rut, and it tastes amazing. So, yeah, it's
Now,
not.
what about antelope? Have you had antelope?
I have, and I know like guys rant and rave over. I know Dan talks about it like it's the best meat ever. I think the only animal. I mean, I shot one, but it was 2011. Um, the only thing I really remember about that is their hair comes out. I was dragging the thing out just by,
It's weird, isn't it?
and the hair just pulls right out.
Yeah.
Um, Ironically, a moose cape does the same thing. I was just trying to save a cape for a buddy, and when you're skinning out the cape, like the hair just comes out in handfuls. And I'm not sure if that's something after they die, their body goes into shock, but it just pulls right out. So we ended up bailing on the cape. But I've had antelope. People who have cooked it before for me obviously couldn't cook very good because it was super dry. I'd like to try it again now that I know more about cooking and I could prepare it. But people say it's their favorite.
I've heard you either love it or you hate it.
Well, the stuff I had tastes like shit. Uh,
Yeah.
but everyone's got their opinion. Some people say Sitka Blacktail's the best. Some people say Dall Sheep's the best. I think I've had some Dall Sheep that's pretty good, but when you just bust your ass and you kill a Dall Sheep and then you take the whole rib rack on the bone and you cook it over an open fire of rocks, I mean, I think that has something to do with how good it tastes because there's a lot of sweat equity into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Did you cape out your moose?
No, that's gay. Like those capes are like 150 pounds. Like I'm not gonna do that.
So you're just gonna Euro mount it?
Yeah, I got it. I got all pressure washed it off. I steam them, and then I pressure washed it, and I'm bleaching. I've done like 3 rounds of bleach, like the peroxide 40 developer stuff. You get a hair salon, and it's still a little yellow on the forehead, so I got to do another round of that. But shoulder mount moose, I mean, they take up more room than like a life size sheep would, and my hanger's already got like 12 big moose in there, so I'm running out of room. I'll shoulder mount when I kill the world record. That's what I've told people. Like until then, I don't think I need to.
There's levels to this thing. I mean, there really is. It's you always give me shit. You're like, dude, when are you gonna kill something big? And it's like after I start killing small shit consistently, and I'm talking to like, yo, are you gonna cape out that moose? It's almost a world record. Nah, no, it's not the world record. It's just funny to me, like how like the levels to these guys. It's like you have people like me where you kill anything, and then people like you're like, no, it has to be a giant.
But I'm different on that. Like the first legal Dall sheep that I see, I'm gonna shoot it. I don't even know if I'm going Dall sheep hunt next year. Our populations are pretty bad, and then you know, like whitetails, I have a South Dakota archery deer tag this year, and then like a Kansas deer tag. And if I see a cool deer, I'll just roll out of the truck, make a stock, and go kill it. Like I don't care. I like killing stuff too. For whatever reason, when it came to moose, I never really had this idea, but I just wanted to be a trophy hunter, not for any recognition or anything. I really respect them, and if I wanted to take one thing and really make it mine and like be an expert, I was like, well, it's going to be moose. And so if I'm going to go full Dan Evans, let's do it on moose. Everything else, whatever. I'll shoot a baby caribou. I don't care. Um, and that's kind of my mantra, I guess.
Yeah. So moose is your jam then. That's your thing.
I'm pretty good at it. Yeah. And I'm spoiled too. I know that because I'll be hunting. Like I was hunting with Tana's brother, and I said, "Yeah, we saw a 68-inch bull. He's at least a booner, maybe a 230, but he's not big." And Tana's like, "You're talking about a 68-inch moose bull. He's not that big. Like you are just in your own world." But she's the same way with caribou. She'll be texting me on the internet. Yeah, these bulls are 400, maybe 420, and I'm like, she's like, I could shoot that 400-inch bull, which is Boone and Crockett. I could sneak in there with my bow and shoot it, but I want the other one over there that's a little 430, 440, and she wants her world record caribou. So I think it's good to have goals. We don't put anything in the book or anything like that. Someone reached out from Boone and Crockett on Instagram and was like, "Hey, we want to get you entered." I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Like I don't care about putting my name out there. I actually think I think it would hurt me more than it would like benefit me. I don't want people to know. And they like ask for a drainage, and I think they're pretty specific on the drainage they want. And they want you to tell the truth, which I would lie my face off. Um, I don't need to put my name into the record books just so other people can see it. I just want to know for myself, how I
Yeah.
measure, how my animal measures up.
Do you feel any sense of pressure when you go out hunting to kill big stuff? Just because
No,
your name's out there?
no, not at all. I'm not against you. I'm not against Cam Haynes or whoever, been Jim Shockey. Um, I just want to have a good time. And if I see an animal and I want to shoot it, it's my decision. And it's solo hunting's tough. I've talked to a lot of guys about it. It's scary. It's hard. It's difficult. It's physically taxing, but it's like you bet on yourself, dude. Especially when you're leaving on an airplane, dude. It's the most real feeling. You're leaving from your hangar. You got tools. You got an in reach. And it's like, you know, I'm gonna go out and make it happen, and you do it. So I've done it enough now. It just seems normal. But when I first did it, I was like solo moose hunting, if we can call it solo moose hunting. Like that's next level shit. It's hard. Yeah, air quotes. Sorry, fuck you. Yeah, air quotes. Yeah, it's pretty insane to think about. You just leave and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go shoot a moose by myself and call it in and video it and cut it up and hang it up and watch for bears while I'm cutting the moose up in the dark. Man, I didn't even really think about that. I was in the dark at like 11 or 12 and I was gutting that thing and it was in a bunch of like willow brush and it kind of fell into a hole. So I had to kind of tie the back leg up, parachute cord, and like put my Barney's pack on the front leg so I could gut it. And I pulled the guts out completely in the dark. I never even really thought of bears, so I guess maybe I should have. But I mean, I had my pistol on the whole time. What are you supposed to do? Freak out?
Yeah. I mean, You're also not dealing with black bears. I'd probably be a little bit more cognizant, but that's just me.
They're brown bears. They're big. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah, they
lot
are big.
of it too. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm still here.
Yeah, you are. Have you always been like no pressure when you go out? Because I know for me and I know for a lot of guys, like, yeah, I'm a coach and stuff, but like my brand is also hunting a little bit, obviously, right? It's called Nock Performance, as in an arrow. And sometimes I can, last year it was bad. This year I've been cool, but last year it's like, dude, if I don't kill anything, like I'm gonna look like a fraud, this, that, and the other. Has it always been like that for you, or did you like have a coming to Jesus moment when you're like, fuck it, we're just gonna do this?
I guess.
You understand what I'm saying? You understand kind of the
Yeah,
question I'm
that stuff's kind of in the back of my mind. Like I need to kill a big moose because that's kind of what I'm known for is killing big moose. But I guess I'm confident enough in my abilities. Like I know I'm going to kill something.
yeah.
Uh, but there's been years I don't. There's one year I passed up 15 different Boone and Crockett bulls, didn't pursue them just because I'm like, it's not like the wow factor. It's not like holy shit when I see it. Like when I saw this bull, he's like everything I've ever wanted. There's like no question asked. Threw down that Hoyt, ran back to camp, grabbed that rifle, and was like,
I told you, I was like, dude, just go kill that thing. Stock performance, baby.
I started laughing. I saw that, and I was like, stock performance all day. And yeah, I guess I don't have that mantra in the back of my head. I feel like that would negatively affect me because it's like,
It does.
and it's like doubt. And like Tana told me, it's a scripture from church. Like doubt your doubts before you doubt your faith. I have faith that I'm confident, and I have a skill set, and I have a killer's mentality. That I'm the most lethal predator out there, more so than a bear. Um, and with my knowledge and my skill set, and my optics, and my physical strength, I'm going to be able to make it. And I'm also a pretty good marksman too. I'm going to be able to make it happen. I'm going to find the animal. I'm going to go in there and make it happen. And we don't blow stocks. We don't miss shots. And I just get the job done. And I guess I'm just confident in my ability, not to the point of being cocky, but I'm just confident in my ability, my knowledge of the area, my knowledge of animal behavior, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to get it done. I also have a lot of time too. This year I do. Next year I'm going to have, I think, pretty restricted time with that new job I'm taking. But I think, yeah, I think I'm just confident in that.
Yeah, the best hunters I know, you being one of them, you guys all have that same mindset that you guys are the like you're the biggest, baddest person or animal in the woods, even more so than like a bear or something like that. Like my one buddy, he refers to himself as the wolf. Like he's joking, but like I don't think he is when he's out there. He's like, no, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna kill.
I call myself the ultimate predator. I know that sounds gay,
I
but
think I think Cam used to call himself that or have like some sort of mantra T-shirt thing.
it kind of came from killing wolves because wolves are the ultimate predator. And then when you start
Right.
killing wolves, it's like, okay, well now I'm top dog and I'm cutting your dicks off. I mean, look at your shirt.
Yeah,
So you guys can call me daddy wolves. So
that's right.
yeah, I think a lot of it's just confidence, but that comes with experience and screwing up, knowing the area, different things like that. But it's still difficult. I mean, the moose rut happened late. I know you had struggles with elk, and so the animals don't always play the script like they're supposed to. It's like, oh, it's September 16th. We should be peak rut right now, and you still got bulls together. Bulls won't come into cow calls, and it's just like, it's really weird. The bull I shot, I had to play him for all day. And like all day. I found him first thing in the morning. He was raking, and he was postured up to a smaller 65-inch bull. And I've heard a lot of feelers with that because a 65-inch moose, that's 5'5". That's a really big moose, but it looks tiny compared to a 74-inch world record class moose. And they were kind of posturing up. He kicked him out of there. And then I got within like 1,000 yards, and I was 880 to 1,000 all day long on this moose, and I just slow played him. I just started cow calls like at noon, just a little bit here and there. And finally, like right before dark, I started to get desperate, and he came in, and I got into like four. No, came out to like 500, no 480, and I had a shot, and I'm like, no, he's right by the trees. I don't want to shoot him. If he takes a step, I won't have him in sight. And then I lost him for a half hour. It was getting dark, and I'm like, damn it, you should have shot your shot, dude. You had a chance. And then he came out. I was just patient. I was set up, and I filmed it through the all-in on my spotter, and I had the GoPro facing me for the shots. And I shot that moose at 510 yards. It was blowing about 15 miles an hour. Had to hold like 3 minutes to the right for wind, and I shot him
How,
six.
Yeah, 6 times. How far was the shot?
5'10". Yeah.
Yeah. Did it buckle him at all on the first one, or was he just like, nah, we're good?
I've had a lot of moose in the 3 to 500 range. One right behind the shoulder, they take 2 steps and tip over. This is a 338 ROM by Gunworks, 285 Hornady ELDM bullet, and first one was right above the heart, and then he faced away from me, and then he quartered away, and then I did like two more right behind the shoulder, and then held a minute further, and then hit the shoulder, and then he turned the other side, and then I hit him right behind the shoulder, and then in the shoulder, and then he finally took like 5 steps and laid down, like didn't fall over, like laid down on his own. 6 shots, all pretty good hits, except the last one he kind of turned and I pulled it. That's an impressive animal. So it's a
That
lot.
that video you sent me of that other moose, he was no dink either.
Yeah, that was in a closed season. I flew over and I saw that one, and I'll post that sometime this winter, probably or something like that.
Did you
But
just feel like putting a stalk on it just to practice or what?
close to it, I think I had sheds to it, and so I wanted to get closer and get a look. You can only get such a good look out of the airplane. He had cows. I'm like, well, I'll just walk into the edge of this meadow and look. And he met me at the edge of the meadow, like before I could even realize what's going on. I heard him raking and stuff, and so I just walked in there full speed. Didn't really think much of it, and had wind in my face. And he met me at that spruce tree where I sent you the video at like, I quit filming at 4 yards because then it got pretty nasty, and I was like telling him like, hey, it's time to stop. And there was actually a movie or a clip on Instagram floating around with Outdoor Life of like a young bull in Maine or something stalking someone, called in, and he like has these crazy bug eyes and stuff, and really similar experience, except mine was like a 72-inch moose. It was like 230, 240 type bull. And yeah, he wanted to kill me or breed me. And I was just thinking, like, how does my obituary read? Like, Adam Grenda, 34 years old, aka Dickbone, gets trampled by moose, flying, landing in a closed. I mean, the unit had already closed for hunting, and so it wasn't like a big deal. And gets trampled to death by moose and then sodomized, you know?
Do they? Because that's what's so creepy to me when you see them at like close range via videos like that. And I think I saw the one that you're referring to. I watched it yesterday.
Yeah.
They like wobble, and then their eyes do they always have bug eyes like that? Like they just look insanely creepy.
No, this one didn't.
Do you know what I'm talking about though? Like it's so strange.
No, this one didn't have that at all. He was licking his lips and his eyes were kind of like his eyes were like squinted, kind of closed, like he was ready to fight. But he licked his lips just like the other one. So I watched the other video. I'm like, oh, I know what that looks like right in front of your face. They're like licking their lips, and I don't know if that's like, hey, I'm about to throw down, like a guy like clenching his fist or something like that. But the wobbly antlers to like showcase what you got, like what you're packing, like a
Okay.
shirt saying, okay, we're gonna throw down, and that's them doing that. And usually that pushes other bulls off. But I've seen bulls chase cows. I've seen bulls chase smaller bulls, and they take those giant front tines and they try and stick them up your ass. And when I was behind the spruce tree, it was like 6 inches at the butt, and this big bull's trying to come through the spruce tree to kill me. I'm like, I might have fucked this up. This is not a good idea to do this.
Mm-mm.
Um, and I'm like half a mile away from an airplane right now. I can't outrun this moose, and we have one spruce tree, and then everything else is pretty much wide open with some willow brush. But like, I might die. Still here, thanks to God. But yeah, I kind of juked him out, like made him think I was going one way around the spruce tree, and he kind of went back into his wobble, and I just took off as fast as a fat kid can run, dude. And I got out of there. And luckily, he just pissed off, and I think he got my wind at that point because I kind of had circled upwind to him on purpose. And then he went one way and I went the other, and we broke stride.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that was wild.
did that again without a rifle in my hand, knowing I can hunt or kill the moose. Obviously you can't fly and hunt something the same day. It was a closed season, so I'm not going to do that. But you can shoot something in self-defense. And so I could have shot the moose in self-defense, but it would look pretty bad, I feel like. And so I don't want to put myself into that position again. It was a cool experience, but I just think moose are just like a rutting mule deer. I don't really see elk get that way, but moose are just so tied in. Once they're locked in like that, it's like, we're going to fight. Regardless of what you are, you could be a canoe paddle sitting in the ground. We're going to fight. They're just one track mind.
Yeah, that's interesting. I liked your I liked your video that you just put up earlier today with the boots, and
Yeah.
I liked your caption with it. But like, here's your chance to apologize to all the photographers out there. By the way,
Oh, that I said we don't want sunsetters. Yeah. I'm sorry, but it's not about the hunt. It's not about the kill, this and that. It is about the kill, okay? We can go have a great time and stuff, but if you're going to tell me that it's not about the kill, then why are we out there? Why don't we just go golfing? Why don't we just sit on the couch and jerk each other off and play video games, you know? World of Warcraft or Zelda in mom's basement. Like, it is about the kill. That's why we're going. You're going to tell me Nock Performance doesn't want to go out there and shoot a 336 point on video? Of course he does. Do you want to just go out and just get your ass handed to you and not see shit? No, no one does. It's about killing. That's why we're hunting. Like, I'm just gonna call it like it is. So no, I'm not apologizing to photographers. Go out and take pictures of sunsets and the campfire, and you know, and never kill shit. And you look through their Instagram and you roll your thumb up like Wheel of Fortune, and there's not one dead animal, but there's a lot of cool tree stand pictures of them doing different angles of them in a tree stand. Sucks to suck. Sorry.
not a lot of people will express that fact, but it is the cold hard truth, bro.
You know, sometimes my wife told me this the other day when I was struggling moose hunting. She texted me, she's like, you know, sometimes you just need to be fucked up with a little bit of truth. And so there it is.
Yeah.
Happy to
It's
say it. No one else will. You know?
I think I think it's like a cop out. I think it's an excuse for not punching tags in a sense.
It's a cop out for, no, it's a cop out for, I think, self assessment. Because you didn't walk 2 hours in the dark in the morning and you didn't stay in the meadow till dark to see what the elk were doing, what trail they came into. Because it's getting kind of dark. My buddy said he saw a bear in here last year, a black bear, or he said he saw a sow grizzly with cubs or whatever. And you play the mental game, and so they don't want to walk out in the dark. They don't want to stay good. They don't want to go to a new glassing point. They don't want to put in the effort, and so they say, "Oh, it's not about the kill." That's a self reassurance. That's I suck. I didn't give it 110%. You know, I'd be much better off if guys like, hey, just wasn't in the cards. Next year we're going to do it because I've got my ass kicked before, but it's still about the kill. You can get your ass kicked. I got my ass kicked on this last moose hunt, and I didn't think we were going to kill. But I'm never going to take a sunset picture, make a post, and say, great moose season, wasn't about to kill. I'll take a picture of me and Tom hiking our balls off sweaty and say, we got our ass handed to us. The moose didn't cooperate, and the weather kicked our ass. Had a great time. But it is about the kill. That's why we are there. We're trying to kill something.
And you kind of alluded to that when you were talking about the old high school football knee injury.
That wipes out a lot of guys. That or my sister's cousin's cat got cancer, and I got to go back. You know, and I hear it from all my guide buddies. It's just like, you know, day 2 of a sheep hunt. It's like, ugh. I thought you were in shape, Neil. Well, I thought, you know, my sister's cat, and you know that it's got liver cancer, and I just really got to be there for her, and they're tapping out, you know. And I just felt that was a good sales pitch. It was a promotional post for Lathrop and Sons boots. I mean, I think anyone else can see that, but it's real. Boots, pack, and your tent. Those are the top 3 over your bow, over your gun, over your pickup, anything. You could drive up in a Toyota Corolla to a trailhead and have better boots, and you're going to out hike the next guy who's in better shape than you. Because I've come off the mountain with a half roll of Leuko tape on each foot because my feet are wrecked off a mountain goat hunt. And you don't want to be quitting early, and you don't want to be sitting there 6 miles deep and your feet don't work, and you're like, man, I should have spent a couple hundred extra bucks on the boots.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, we pulled up to a trailhead last weekend. There was 13 trucks there, and we
Go to
killed.
Trailhead. That's what Rogan says, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just listening to that actually, but
Yeah.
um, I mean, we killed. I didn't see any other blood on the trail out,
Good.
you know. So, I mean, granted, it wasn't a big bull, but it's still a bull.
Yeah, it's weird that you have that dynamic, and I'm starting to even see it in Alaska. Alaska's getting so busy, like moose season. There'll be a lake that's, you know, 5-10 miles long. There'll be 4 to 5 camps moose hunting on one lake. You know, and that's a big lake, but you're still, those moose will make a lap over that whole lake, and you're going to get multiple people seeing the same young bull cruising through, and it's crazy, you know, that type of
Yeah,
thing.
those excuses that you alluded to with the cat and the knee and all this, all that shit. I think what else you can factor into is fear as well, right? Like the guys who don't get up at 3 and start hiking 2 hours before light, or the guys that leave when it's still light out because they don't want to hike in the dark. I think that plays a big part of it as well.
Yeah, and I was never that guy. I guess I just didn't know. I was closing down bars at 2:30 in the morning. I met my wife and her brothers. Yeah, we're getting up at 1:30. We're leaving the house at 2:30, and I'm just like, I'm still ordering double Jaeger bombs at 1:30. Like, what are we doing? You know, Jaeger bombs for the boys. You know what video I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like, dude, this is insane. And like, okay, now we have an hour drive. We're there at 3:30. We can't even start to see a speckle till 6:30. Are we going to sit here for 3 hours like we do? I've done that before, and I did that before in Wyoming. We got there really early for the mule deer, and we'd glass in the truck. He's like, "No, we're walking." I said, "Where?" He's like, "Just up this ridge." I'm like a trail?" He's like, "No, we're just going to go up this ridge. Just follow me." And I was like, "This is insane." But you're in position 5 miles deep, 3 hours later in elk country, and you're listening to bugles on the way in, and you got good thermals and everything, and you know where to be, and like that's how you kill stuff. And I was like, "Wow, okay, this is how you get it done." And
Yeah.
it was just kind of a shocking moment to me. I just didn't really know. But I say those things like in jest, but they're real stories. They're real knee injuries. Tana sees it all the time in her business. She trains people, all kinds of excuses. And then even guys that solo hunt, they get scared, they miss their kids, they do different things, and you want to get back and you want to get a burger or pizza and you want to sit on the couch. And we've all done this. I know you have and I have. And you get back and not shit's changed. You know, your wife doesn't want to rip your clothes off. Your job's still there. The beer's still in the fridge. The burger's still there, and you're sitting on the couch, and you're like, "Fuck! I should still be out in the woods right now. I'm a freaking loser because I quit early." And you know deep down, and we don't talk about this. You know deep down, you should have stayed out there, and that's what guys aren't doing. So I hope just that little post mid hunting season. It was a good sales post for boots. The boots kick ass. I love them. But I hope that just maybe makes someone stay out there a little bit longer
No, I mean it worked for me. I'm gonna go out solo probably Thursday for 5 or so days.
and pack
And it's like,
a real solo hunt.
what's that? Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
Everything.
Yeah. Yep. And it's like, because there's gonna be times, unless I kill on the way to the spot first day, where day 3, day 4, I don't have service. I'm not talking to nobody. It's getting dark. It's getting lonely. Those thoughts go through your head, and I think that you're lying if not. Um, but that post is a good reminder where I'll think of that and be like, hey, grab your set. Like you're here for a reason because like you just said, and we've alluded to this on previous podcasts on here, but as soon as you get that first, cold beer or that first warm shower or those clean clothes and you sit down, immediately you're like, fuck. Why I should be out there.
I am a piece of shit.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's the same. We used to talk a lot about it a lot when I was like running all those ultras, where it's like, yeah, shit's getting hard and you're feeling like crap, but you still have so much more. And if you like, tap the button, DNF or whatever, as soon as you get that first warm meal or that shower, you're like, bro, I had so much more in the tank.
Pretty much. Yeah. And I think that is what sets people apart, and that's why there's a lot of jealousy, I think, maybe in the hunting community and hate and stuff, and I get plenty of it and stuff, like guys saying mine wasn't a solo hunt. I'm like, okay, well, tell me how many moose you've shot when no one else was there, and then I'll listen to you. If you want to tell me that, they could even be cow moose, I'll listen, because this is my fourth, maybe my fifth one I've shot by myself. I'm not going to call it a solo hunt. So when you're a qualified expert and I can look up to you, then I'll listen. But until then, I don't care about your opinion. So lick my sack. Um, but that's the reason a lot of people I feel like don't kill is that self doubt in their mind. And then like for you, you don't want to go through the whole next year when Nock Performance is your business and be able to think about, hey, the what ifs. You want to leave it all in the tank. And when Tom was up here moose hunting, dude, we killed the last day of the last hour, and I get in a bad thing because I'm always looking forward to what's next, and I'm not focused in the moment. I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do tomorrow? Because this isn't gonna work out. I'm like, no. I had to keep refocusing my mind like multiple times throughout the day. Like, no, we are going to kill a moose today in this unit right now. And it was like, okay, what's going to happen if this unit closes? Where can we go? What's open? What's the weather going to be like? Who can I talk to about who's seeing moose? I'm like, no. And I just kept refocusing, telling myself we're going to kill a moose. And we had some shitty weather days. We were watching that show called Outlast that Zach was on, Beyond the Backcountry Zach, and Drew and Drake. They were running towards the end. I hope I'm not a spoiler for anyone, but they were like, they were one of the last teams, and he's like, "Nothing left in the tank, Drew." And I was telling Tom, I'm like, Tom, and Tom's a hiker, but I am in really good shape in the tundra, dude. And I am just like 2 trekking poles, balls to the wall, moose call strapped to my belt. I said, Tom, nothing left in the tank. I said, we are gonna walk. We were 5 miles from the airplane. We did a huge loop, which was retarded, and a huge loop where we'd seen moose that morning. We just didn't know where they were, and just started calling and raking and basically just brush pounding. And I said, we're gonna be like 3 miles from the airplane when it gets dark, and we're gonna basically call our way back, you know. And that was the last hour of the last day, and I worked that bull for 2 hours over and over and over. And I called one of his cows in downwind. I don't know where she went. Called the other cow in like 61 yards, and he came out and then he shot him. And I was just like, dude, if we would have quit early, if we would have said, hey, let's just stay up on the glassy knob till dark, and hope something comes out. And it was actually Tom's idea. I said, I think we should make a big loop, go around here where we saw those moose this morning, and then come back here and we saw this moose just now, and just put it all out there. And so going for broke is sometimes what you need to do. And if you tap early, you're always going to wonder in the back of your mind, like the what ifs.
Yeah, to your point too, it's I'm like, well, my buddy got one. He's not coming back out with me. Nobody's gonna just follow me around the unit that I'm in if they don't have a tag. It's like, so it's either go solo or don't go. And I had this thought. It's like, well, just wait for rifle, dude. You're good. It's like, well, why? Like, why would I wait for rifle? I'm my own boss. I can go out whenever the fuck I want to go out. It's like, am I gonna kill one? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Like, am I gonna kill an elk this year? For sure. Like, I'd hope so, rifle or bow. But I'm like you. I don't. It doesn't matter the weapon choice. But again, what if I could kill one during bow season? Like, they should be running in there by now, right?
My
And
thing
it,
is,
like,
you can kill one right now with a bow. I can
yeah,
kill their weapon, so I take the most efficient weapon, which, sorry to Hoyt, but I grabbed the rifle and shot this big moose.
as you should.
You can only kill one with a bow. But I'll tell you right now, you can't kill one sitting in this library with all the homeless
No.
you're currently in. You
Yeah.
need to be in the elk woods with a bow, and you could be sitting at camp and a 6-point walks by on a trail and you stick him. Happens all the time. You just have to spend time in the field.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. And it's like that solo aspect of it too, right? That's how I killed my antelope. It was like you couldn't have paid me to have anybody else there, apart from maybe my dad, right, sitting in the truck glassing me, watching it happen. But apart from that, you couldn't have paid me any amount of money for somebody to be there with me. It was so epic by yourself. It makes me not want to hunt with anybody anymore, honestly. Like that feeling of accomplishment when you do it by yourself, pack it out yourself. Antelopes are easy. You can pretty much throw them over your shoulder, but
True
it's
solo,
just what's that?
true solo hunt.
Yeah, true solo hunt.
Yeah.
But it's just you. It's hard to even explain. People that have done it, and there are tons of people that listen to this shit that do it frequently. They know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just, yeah, the celebration with your buddy is awesome, but by yourself, like I was screaming in the middle of this prairie field. It was me and a bunch of cattle. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. I've cried the last 2 animals solo. It's weird. I've never been a crier, but this year it's just like hit me, just spiritual of God and stuff like that. I don't get it, but I'm just really, really grateful. I mean, the sheep was a tough one. I was dealing with some marriage issues and stuff, and I was way up in northern Alaska and stuff like that, and that was a whole bunch of other issues and bullshit. And this moose was just like, it's special because it's hard, dude. There's no one else there to help. There's no one to bounce ideas off of, but that's also a plus to me because it's like I know my plan. I know how to kill stuff. And then when you have another person there, it's like, then you have to deliberate and then you have to care about other people's feelings. When it's just you, it's like, yep, we're doing plan A right now. That doesn't work. I got plan B. And if plan A doesn't work out, it's all on you. It's not like you can blame the other person or this and that. It's just like, at that point, all you can do is take a sunset picture and say, it's not about the kill. I had right? Right?
Yeah. No,
So
you're spot on.
the biggest thing, dude, I'll tell you for motivation, I tell myself this all the time. My dad said this a lot growing up. He's like, hunting is so phenomenal. That's why it's better than golf and video games. Everything is because it's not planned. It's not predictable. You can't buy it. When you're solo hunting public land like this, it's like you, it's it's the best of the best. Like you're in the Hunger Games of everyone else, and like you have to prevail, which is really cool. And you can't buy it, right? You can't just go turn on the Xbox. You can't just go get a round of golf. You can't go get the instant gratification. So that comes with jealousy from people. But hunting is so cool because it can change like that. Like you could be sitting there, you just missed a 5 point, and you're like, I'm the biggest piece of shit. I'm gonna pack up, and you're texting Morgan on the inReach, and like my life sucks. And a 375 bull comes down the trail glunking, and you shoot him at like 6 yards from your tent. Stories like that happen all the time, and I just tell myself, like, it only takes one opportunity on day 9 of a 7-day hunt, and you're done. And you're like, the mission's over. Like we were 100% tagged out, and then all at that point, once the animal's dead, all you have to do is get him out. And you're a fit dude; you can bone out a bull and get him out. Like it's not that hard.
Yeah. I kept telling my buddy that, dude, it takes one because we weren't into him at all. I'm like, brother, it's one. It
Yeah,
was like 30 minutes before dark. I'm like, dude, clearly the elk aren't talking. Pitch a bugle. Fuck, we got nothing to lose. Mile away, some freaking rag pokes his head out of the saddle. He starts working our way, and I'm like, that's the one. You might as well go down there. He's going to come in on a rope. I'll stay up here. You go down there, go arrow him. He did.
yeah,
Just one. Like this, though. That's how cool hunting is. Just instant. It's
that's
either,
but cool.
oh, it's awesome, man.
Like adrenaline, Like I was watching that moose all day, and I'm just like, dude, he's never gonna come on. He's never gonna come in. And I started slow playing, like giving him some slutty or cow calls, and like what really turned on was some. Yeah, like the really squealy ones. Like a normal cow call is just like, "Arr!" And I was just like, okay, I need to sound like I'm getting penetrated. So I was just like, like
Which
that.
was probably easy for you to emulate.
100%, dude. Yeah. I've been, yeah. And so, anyways, like I just got really squealy, started doing some bull grunts, and then I had to go off the hill. And I was raking some alders with my canoe paddle, and like he perked his ears up, and then I didn't see him. And then like 3 minutes later, a moose when they step is like 8 feet, one step. And so like 3 minutes later, he was across the creek, and I'm like, shit, he's in range. And he was like at 600, like across the creek, and I'm trying to get back up to my gun because I didn't have any brush up there where I was shooting on this open knob. And it's just like it happened so fast. And then I was like, I was throwing my spotter, and then I was like throwing my moose call, and then I was like throwing my canoe paddle. I had three things I was throwing like 20 yards, not my spotter, obviously, and then like crawling up the hill, and then throwing him some more and crawling up the hill and stuff like that to get in position to shoot this moose. And it's just like when it turns on, it's like it's instant, and then your adrenaline's like dumping because you're like, then that's the hard part, and I've gotten a lot better. I used to freak out when I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna happen because you're like so used to it never working out, never happening. My mantra has gotten better. It's like, yeah, this is going to happen. I'm going to shoot this animal. I'm going to kill it. You can't think about after. You can't think, oh, what about this post I'm going to make? And I'm going to get likes, and I'm going to get this, and my wife's going to fuck my brains out because I'm a big bull killer. I mean, all the stuff that's rolling through your head, you have to channel that out, and you have to say, no, my mission is to put a fatal shot into the vitals of this animal, do it ethically, do it quick, kill the animal, and then I figure out the next move. But I used to have like full speed come aparts before, like losing my shit, you know. Now it's gotten to where it comes right at the shot and after. And if that stops, I'll stop hunting, because it has to be like that. And it's so special to me, and I don't think it ever will. But that's the hard part for me. I don't know about you, but when it's starting to come together, it's just like, dude, keep your shit locked in. But you've
Yeah, I
had
don't
top, you got to be able to lock it in, right?
100%, and it's usually after where I get that dump. Like
Yeah,
during the moment, and I don't know when that happened, dude. It's happened over the past couple of years, I guess, maybe because I've just been killing stuff more consistently over the past few years since I've started getting better, I guess. But very rarely, like in the moment, I start freaking out, like getting the shakes or like thinking all those like post kill thoughts. It's usually right after, like when my buddy killed that bull, like I was sitting on this knob jackhammering like from excitement, right? Like I'm glassing this bowl and then he shoots a lighted knock. So it was like a fucking lightsaber just like
Yep.
came out of the abyss. It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen and or been a part of hunting. It was so cool. But like when me personally, I don't know what happened with it. I don't know when that switch turned to just like executing and then it's okay to freak out after. Um, but I'm not complaining because I'd probably botch a lot more opportunities if I was losing my marbles.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that do, but yeah, I think that's the hard part is holding it all together when it comes down to crunch time. For me, it's better like I'm really good. My bighorn sheep in Idaho, freaking out. That huge Dall sheep in Alaska, freaking out. I kind of mentally put sheep up on this pedestal, even though they're just a freaking big white fluffy dog with some bones on their head, just because sheep are the elitist column or community, right? Sheep are way up there. They're expensive. They're this and that. And when I know it's just such a giant of a sheep, I feel like, dude, there's a lot of pressure on me now. I can't screw this up. Um, but that big moose, I should have been really jacked, and I was, but I had all day to kind of sit there and calm my nerves. And I was dry firing on him at 1,000. I was looking at the wind. I was looking at the Revic app, on Gunworks to see which way the wind direction shifts your bullet. Looking at all the ballistics. I mean, I had 8 hours to sit there and figure stuff out. So I was pretty calm. But I understand, like when I was calling Tom's moose in, I'm videoing it. I'm videoing it through the video camera, and I'm trying to do just like elk hunting, just mimic exactly what they're doing. And he was calling, I was like, whoa, 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 every time he'd call, and just trying to copy right what he was doing, and like step right on his calls. And I was pumped. Like I could feel my heartbeat in my neck, and if my mouth was open, I don't know if you ever realized this, you can hear your heartbeat through your mouth. And it's like when you got that, shit's getting real.
Mm.
And so I had to close my mouth, breathe through my nose, freaking mouth breathers, and call this moose in. And I'm more jacked than the hunter is. And that's when you know you're all about it. And I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You know what I think it is just off of us talking for the past 10 minutes about this. And we've gotten to know each other pretty well over the past year, 2 years, whatever it is that on my hunts before, dude, I couldn't tell you how many times I played that antelope hunt over and over and over and over in my head before it actually even happening. And it's the same thing now with this bow hunting elk thing, right? I've seen this story play out 1,000 times, not in real life, but in my mind. So I feel like that might be a reason why me personally I don't get crazy worked up before it's done because I've been here in my mind, right? I'm thinking, hey, this is how it's gonna play out, and then it plays out just like I fucking thought. So maybe that's just me, but you kind of have that same mindset too. I feel like where
Oh, yeah.
you kind of call this shit into existence, and I don't know a lot of people that do, and I probably get because whenever I post, I try to make it like a meaningful post, not just like a hey, look at me, like I'm trying to spread a message, kind of like the one that you did today, even though it was promotional, but there was still a good message behind it. And I was talking about like manifesting, and my wife's a hippie, so like I get a lot of that through her and stuff. But dude, the shit fucking works. Like
She's heavy,
playing.
hot, dude. Just
Yeah, I know you think that. Yeah, I think that too. Thanks, Adam.
one podcast Morgan did. Bring Morgan back. I say that as a creeper if no one's ever listened to that podcast. I say that not because I'm like feeding the geese to Morgan's voice or whatever, but it's so funny. She's like, yeah, there's a bunch of guys say you're so hot. And I'm listening to that podcast. I think I was flying like, dude, Morgan sounds so hot. And then you told her, and then she got all embarrassed, and I thought that was funny. And then I think I sent you a gift from Donnie from Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But no, my wife, maybe she's a little bit of hippie too. Voice isn't as hot as Morgan, but she's definitely a dime piece. But she's big into manifestation. I used to write in my iPhone notes. I don't do this much anymore because my life's so fluid and moves and changes day to day. But like what my goals were, we're going to go here. We're going to hunt these drainages. We're going to hunt these days where our goal is at any brown bear, an 8 foot plus brown bear. And then for moose, we're going to go here. These people are coming. These are the dates. Now it's more revolved around weather and stuff like that. But I manifest things like before the trip. And I think maybe guys like in sports do this, business CEOs before a deal, they manifest, they play the movie in their head. And I do. I know where I'm flying. I've already been there. I've scouted. I know where I can land. I know roughly what the weather is going to be. I know I'm probably going to find moose in this drainage, this one or this one. It just depends on where the cows are. I'm going to find the moose. I'm going to stay up high. I'm going to not move and spread scent and waste energy till I see the animal I want. And then I'm going to move in for the kill. I'm going to go execute and I'm going to kill the animal. And if there's bears, I'm going to handle the bears. And if things go haywire, I'm going to handle the situation every way I know how. If there's an airplane mishap, I have tools out there to fix it. And if I don't, I'll inreach someone in there to come fix me. And if no one can land, I guess I'll walk out to somewhere where someone can pick me up and a helicopter will sling load my airplane out. And worst case, you die, you know? But I'm not thinking about that. And I play the movie all in my head, and this will bring back the UFC moment. When it all happens, this is where I was going with Nate Diaz. When it all happens and it comes together and it's like, wow, congrats. You're sitting there and you're like, not surprised, motherfucker. You know, just like you on the
Yeah.
end. Like it finally happened. This is what I played over and over and over. And finally on the 17th stock I've done this month, it worked out. But this is how it's always supposed to work. And there's a lot of times for me it doesn't work out, but when it does, it's like this is a movie I played in my head 3 nights ago, laying in bed at home, and now it's here and it's real life and it just happened.
And the amount of hate that you get for killing shit is like, I personally love it. Like, right? Like, I know that I think it goes kind of in one ear and out the other with you as well. I don't think it really gets you butthurt, but I absolutely love it because people don't see that. People don't see all the money that you put into your plane all the time. I mean, you got 7 kids. You might have 8 by now. Fuck, I haven't talked to you in a couple days. You know, shit's always changing over there. But, you know, time away from your wife, time away from your kids, all the freaking money, all like living out of a tent for 10 days, eating peaks. Like, people just think that you show up, drop the plane, drop a pin, go in, kill one. It doesn't work like that,
No,
man.
really,
And people just hate on it. And it's,
yeah. The plane
I don't
thing
know.
is a really easy thing to grasp, and I'll get into that. I don't know, but I speculate stuff. But yeah, people talk a lot of shit. There were some people on Facebook. They were talking about Isaiah Joner's moose hunt. I saw it on some Facebook group, and I was trying to log into a new phone because I broke my phone the other day, and I saw something on Facebook and computer, and I start reading the comments. I'm like, oh, let's see what these jackasses have to say. And then all these Alaska guys started talking about stuck in the rut, and the guys were like bashing me back and forth in comments, and they were referencing like 3 or 4 different videos, and I'm like, well, you can talk all the shit you want, but it's like, um,
Just dial it in.
but well, no, it's funny that you got 3 or 4 different videos. You're obviously watching and consuming and adding to my profitability or the algorithm or whatever. So thank you for supporting, even though you're a shit talker. I don't care that you're a shit talker, but it's like for me, I don't go watch a bunch of Meat Eater stuff if I don't want to watch Meat Eater and then go and comment to other people how much I hate Meat Eater because then I've supported Meat Eater. I just don't have time, so I don't watch it. And nothing against Meat Eater. It's just the one that came to my mind or whatever. First Light, easy to pick on. Sorry. And for
No, you're
me,
not.
I'm not sorry. Yeah. For me, I think the airplane's the easy button, and it really triggers people because they think he's got an airplane, he flies around, he finds a big moose, he lands, and he walks over there and he shoots it first thing the next morning, and that's how it is. And then he lands right next to it, packs it out, takes a picture, puts it on Stuck in the Rut, makes $500,000 a year per person on Stuck in the Rut, which we don't make shit, by the way. Definitely not 2.5 mil split 5 ways. And I think that's the false perception. And I think that really hurts because people have no idea what it takes to fly an airplane. And the airplane, like I texted you with that antelope picture. You sent me that picture. And I'm just like, dude, my dog. I said, killer antelope, but I said those biceps. And Sam Sulek, I don't know if you follow him. He's
Hell
super,
yeah.
super on roids. And he's like, you know what? And I'm going to quote it straight as he said. He's like, you can't you can't buy a 20-inch bicep. When you walk into the motherfucking store and the guy's jacked, you can't fake that. Maybe with synthol a little bit, but he's like, you have to earn that. And so when guys are looking at the places I'm landing and the moose I'm doing, and it's just like, you got to earn it. You can't buy an easy button. You can't buy this mod for the airplane or you can't buy a little coin that says, here, insert this into your ass and you have 1,000 hours of experience. You have to earn it. And I've been flying for over 15, 16 years. Like I've earned it, and I've got the skill set, and I've got the airplane, and I got the hunting skills to match. And so it's not just the airplane. Because I tell them, I said, there's hundreds and hundreds of Super Cubs in Alaska and guys that know how to fly, but you're not seeing a bunch of giant bulls hit the ground year after year consistently. And I want maybe it's not the airplane. Could have something to do. The airplane's a huge asset, right? You can't access any part of the state without an airplane here. But maybe that's what people think. I don't know. That's just my speculation.
No, you're exactly right. It's the airplane. It 100% is, and it's the same thing with Cam, right? When he goes on, he goes on these hunts with these like super good tags that are really expensive. That's easy to pick on. And like I don't did you listen to the one with him and Rogan and Green Tree at all?
Is that the most recent one? I think I saw a clip.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no,
And
but
I
I
I was
am. But I'm not jealous in that way. I mean, I've talked shit before about Cam. It's like, oh, it's be nice to hunt White Apache or reservation or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm just jealous. I want to freaking. I'll call it like it is. I want to hunt 400-inch bulls. But the guy knows how to kill elk too. So there's definitely.
exactly. My point was it's the same thing with him and the Rogan thing, is that the first 30 minutes of this podcast they're like preferencing everything about like, yeah, like not everybody gets to do this. We're very fortunate. And Rogan like keeps alluding to the fact he's like the only reason we're talking about this is because people get jealous and this, that, and the other. And it's just sad. It's like, no, those guys worked fucking harder than you did. That's why they have the opportunities to do what they're doing now. Get over it. Like, stop being a jealous bitch, work harder, and you might have those opportunities someday as well. It's crazy that you have to preference convos like that, but it's like, I'd rather hear about the hunt. Like, how'd it go? I don't care that you spent 200K on an elk tag. Like, good for you. If I could do that, I'd do the same thing.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. I mean, I'm all about private land tags, and if I could go down to the lower 48, like when I draw Wyoming, I'm going to look for a ranch to pay a trespass fee to, or an outfitter for a lease or something like that because I want to do that. You know,
Yeah, that that's
100%.
the that's the thing too, where people talk about like the hunting community and all this other bullshit. It's like I feel like there's more people against each other than there is like rooting for each other. Like everybody should be rooting for you. Like why are you spreading hate?
Nice to kill big moose. I get big moose pictures sent to me every year. I've had moose pictures of bigger bulls killed than I've killed this year. And I thought I was going to be maybe the biggest moose killed in the state. I'm pretty sure, a couple that I've seen already killed this year that are bigger than mine. And I'm not like mad or anything like that. I'm like, that's badass, dude. That's a great
Right.
congrats. Like, I want everyone to win. Like, I don't care, just don't be a jackass doing it.
No, I get that too, and like that's why I don't even post pictures. Like it takes me like a week to post something. I just send it to all my friends who are proud of me and
Yeah.
that are excited that you got it done, right?
I just don't like posting stuff. A couple people have been like, dude, that moose got like 11 or 12,000 likes. And I'm like, is that a lot? And they're like, yeah, that's crazy. And I got like 2,500 shares or something. I'm like, is that a lot? Like, I don't look at the analytics really or care. But then I started looking back, like most of my posts get like 1,000 or 2,000 likes, and the moose got like 12. So it must be special. Um, I don't care about the likes or the analytics or anything like that. But other people, I guess, notice that kind of stuff. And I don't know. That's not me. And I don't really even like posting it because then you got to answer all these messages. I've spent hours on Instagram the last few days just answering messages. Just like, dude. And the most common message I get, and people are going to ask about this, and so I'm just going to get all the nut swingers out there to maybe end it right here instead of writing me on Instagram is like, oh, I want to do a moose hunt. And the first question I ask them is like, okay, what's your budget when you want to do it? You need 10 grand a person right now. And we're booked out 2 to 3 years for transport. So by the time you get there, it's going to be more expensive. And guys don't realize that. They want to take two guys and 7 grand and say, yeah, we want to fly out moose hunt. I'm like, dude, triple it and then talk to me, you know?
Right.
And that is where you said about Joe Rogan and Cam. There's guys that are going to be me, you, mid level. There's guys going to be Cam and Joe Rogan. And then there's guys going to be work at Wendy's and they run a garbage truck. Nothing against those guys. Everyone has to have a job. And we need people in every aspect of life. But you can't be the bottom of the barrel with supply and demand and everyone wants to do this. And I tell them, they're like, why is it so expensive? And I said, everyone wants a moose. Everyone has money and they're willing to pay. So that's Econ 101. It drives the price up. And if they can charge 6, they will. If they can charge 16, they're going to. Some guys are charging 20 to fly you out, drop you off on a moose hunt. No gear, anything supplied, just to drop one person off, 20K. You know, it's crazy.
And and you shouldn't be jealous of those people that can afford to do that.
I mean, it sucks to suck. That's what I tell people. Like, it's just, you got to save up the money. You have to sacrifice other areas in life and different things like that. You know, that's what I tell a lot of guys like about my life. Oh, you're living my dream. I said, no, I'm living my dream, but I made a lot of sacrifices. Been here, and I've busted my ass in different things. And like my wife shot a caribou the other day. I even told you what when I landed next to her, I sent you that video. You know, she shot a caribou. She was tired. And she's like, land close and I'll show you my tits. And I sent you a picture of me landing right next to the thing. And I was like, my response. And I landed right on that thing. And I was like, when I landed, dude, there was some big boulders like around and everything and tundra. And it was nasty. It was a slope side hill, uphill. And I kind of had a quartering headwind and it was technical. But I'm like, dude, I'm light. I got good wind and stuff, and I went in and I landed like 70 feet or something like that, just like a boss. But I landed, and I was like, my hands were shaking. I had some adrenaline going because, like, that stuff, you're taking the airplane to its peak performance, and you're taking your skill set of like, I don't know, I don't really keep track. I get over 7,000 hours, 7,000 hours of not killing myself, and you're optimizing that into a bell curve chart of like both of those things are right at the very pinnacle, and there's so little room for error on those type of things with margins and yeah, that to me is really living. But guys see that stuff like, oh, if I just had a cub, I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. You know, like how many times I hear guys, I'm gonna get a cub, move to Alaska. I've only seen one guy do that. Say, I'm gonna get a job and I'm gonna move up there and start flying. And it was my buddy Chris that works up here, and now he's like surpassed me in the aviation. He's doing great things, but a lot of guys run their yap and they don't do anything. You know.
Many will talk, few will do.
Yeah, that's what my dad's saying was growing up. It was just like there's a big difference between talking and doing. You can run your mouth, and I don't like talkers. I like doers. I want guys like you to just show up and be like, "Here's an antelope picture. Look, you know, don't tell me about all this stuff. Show me that you did it. You know, and then I'll be proud of you. Don't tell me all the things you're gonna do. Don't tell me how awesome you are. Show me, kind of thing.
Yep.
But it's easy
Yeah.
to, dude. That's the hard part.
Yeah. You so Tana did kill then.
Yeah, she
Good.
shot a really good caribou. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything, but yeah, she shot a nice one. It's a big one.
Sorry. People probably won't make it this long anyways.
No,
It'd be
absolutely not.
alright.
I was the third most listened to Nock Performance podcast. You got to get a better guess.
For whatever reason, dude, people really enjoy you. I mean, I can barely stomach this. What have we been on here an hour?
Yeah,
So yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you. It looks like you got some pubes hanging out the back of your head. Is that a mullet, or what
Oh,
is?
dude, the mullet's coming in nice. Yeah.
Is it? Is that
Yeah,
enough
it's
to
coming.
grab onto, or what?
Come down to Montana and figure it out.
Whatever. She's a
Don't
hit.
tempt you with a good time, huh?
Not gonna say anything. I guess you've been hanging out with Kobe, dude. You gonna get the long, luscious locks like Kobe's got, just all the way down.
Nah, I gotta dial it in. I'm a baseball player, dude. So or former, and I'm superstitious. Like with this mustache, it started off as a joke. I was like, I'm not shaving this bitch till I kill. Then I killed, and then I'm like, oh, this thing must be good luck. So now I'm just rolling with it. Same with the hair. It's like, no, I'm not cutting it until I fill every tag. So
I just get like a Ron Jeremy vibe from you. It's great. You know, awesome.
when did I? No, that was you. Yeah, you said something about that a couple months ago, I think. Yeah,
What?
great guy. Great guy. A lot of game film to study from him too. You can take a lot of pointers.
100%. No, yeah, Tana got a caribou. She was good. There's some bears around and stuff. I'm sure she'll post that here soon or whatever. She's also, I love her because she's not the type. She's got friends like that will catch a fish in Cabo and then be like ready to post right away. Like on the boat in Cabo, putting a picture of their fish. Hey, airdrop me that. And they're like, why? We still got rods in the water in Dorado hitting. Like, I want to put it on the gram. Like, we're still fishing. Like, enjoy the experience. And I'm sure you have buddies like that. As soon as they get back into service, like, oh, teaser pick, I've notched tags. It's like, just enjoy the trip, you know?
Yeah.
I'm getting more and more away from that. I'm waiting longer. Like people are like, why did you wait so long to post your animal? 'Cause one, I don't want people following me. Two, I don't want people to know where I shot it. Three, I just really don't care. And I'm hunting and I'm busy in September. I had multiple people reach out and be like, oh, you okay? You haven't been on the gram much. I'm like, yeah, it's September. I have a life, like living my life, you know?
I'm the same way. I'll post a picture. I'll put like my hand on the hide or whatever, and then I'll forget about it because like I don't even have time to process. Like I'm never just gonna post a pic and be like, hey, look. No, I want to like say something that about the hunt, and I don't even have time to process it. So it'll take me a week or two usually.
Yeah, 100%.
But to go to your point though, I do have friends that it's like, dude, do you even have that thing quartered out yet? Because I'm looking at it on the gram right now. Like you just killed this thing. I don't know. I think it's funny.
Pretty much. I know. Yeah, I think there's a lot of, I don't know. You can hunt for whatever reason you want, but there's a lot of guys that do it for that self-inflicted fame and the likes and different things like that, and they like get a high off it. And I'm the opposite. Like I don't want to answer all these messages, you know, but I feel kind of if people write me a message, I feel like a dick if I don't respond and say, hey, thank you. You know, if someone says, hey, congrats on a hell of a bowl, I feel like you at least owe them a response. So,
Yeah.
I, but it's a lot of freaking work, you know.
Yeah, without question. You getting back in the gym next week?
Yes, sir. I've been eating like a fat ass. I told you that. Just between sheep hunting, I was kind of in the gym. I think after sheep a little bit here and there. Had some medical stuff going with the family, and then it kind of rolled right into moose. Moose was hard because like moose, I would come back for a day and then go out hunt for like day or two. Come back for a day, dry stuff out, regroup. But I know that's all just a bunch of bullshit excuses. But yeah, Monday I'm getting back in the gym and probably start tracking my food again today. Tana's going to the store and then I think I'll be here till like mid October, and then I'm going south for a bighorn hunt.
Good for you. Good for
What's
you,
next?
dude. What'd you say?
What's next for you
I
after?
told you I'm gonna hit that solo hunt and then hopefully chase a mule deer around with a stick and string. Then anything left, break out the boomstick, fill all the rest of the tags hopefully. Then I'm trying to get my dad to come down to Arizona. I got an archery tag for mule deer and or coos, I guess, but I don't want to shoot one of those dink coos deers. So I'm gonna try to do that in December. Get down there.
Do you have any connections down there?
Zero.
I might have a buddy that can help you out.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting something online, but I don't know. My buddy's got a couple pins he said he'd share with me and then kind of figure it out after that. But he's like, don't bring your truck. Those roads are terrible. So I might just get a rental and fucking tear that thing to shit.
I took new, I think they were new Toyo 10 plies, and I like took them down there for an elk hunt one time, and yeah, it was like I lost like 15% 2 weeks. Just it was crazy. Just on the back tires, they will. Those roads will hammer tires and stuff. Yeah,
I was asking my friend, I was like, where should I fly into for that? You know, to get close. He's like, either Scottsdale or Vegas. You're like 2 hours from Vegas. So I called my old man up and he's like, where do we fly into? I was like, well, we can fly into Scottsdale or we can fly into Vegas. We're only 2 hours. He goes, fly into Vegas? Let me think about this. Yeah, I'm in. I was like, all right, my dog.
yeah. Yeah, go down there, have some time. I'll see if I got my buddy's number. He's been down there doing some hunts. He might just be able to point you in the right direction or whatever.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Archer.
Um, well, great podcast, man. I appreciate you coming on again.
Yeah, good filler. I hope I shed some insight for some people and for all the haters and stuff. You know.
I remember the first time you did this off air. I talked to you for a little bit, and you're like, "That was really good, man. Thanks for having me on." What's the name of your show?
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I'm busy, dude. Like, I do listen to this one a lot, so I got in the hopper because I spend hours a year staring out of a screen on an airplane, flying through mountains and stuff like that. But no, it was a
My
good one.
man.
Some insight. I think you've had some really good guests, like the guy from Yellowstone and stuff. He was really good. Need to get
Yeah, that's a banger. Yeah, that's a banger. I'm actually pretty proud of that one. Not very often am I like good work, but that one was definitely good work. That dude was a fucking G.
Yeah, he's cool. You got some good ones. I mean, you got me, you got that guy, you got Cam. I'll put you in touch with Trump Jr., dude, and then you'll have him on here, dude, and just be
Well,
like,
it's actually funny that you say that because a lot of people want me to talk to him, and I was like, I only know one guy. So yeah, you need to make that happen for the people, bro.
I might. He's too busy right now. I just wrote him the other day.
He's got nothing better to do. Come on now.
I just wrote him the other day. I said, dude, I just got back from hunting. I was sending some pictures and stuff. I'm just like, how you doing? He's like, good. I'm sorry to hear about all the bullshit with your dad. Because I mean, regardless, president or not, if it's one of your buddies and his dad, like, and someone's trying to kill your buddy's dad, like, that's pretty fucked up, you know?
That's a human being, regardless of your
Yeah,
thoughts.
like a buddy, and so I'm sorry about all the bullshit going on with your dad. I'm like, are you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm just super busy and can't hunt that much. And we were just talking about how everyone thinks my hunt wasn't a solo hunt. And he commented something on that, and I said, yeah, kind of like all your high fence sheep hunts. And we just were having a laugh, And Don Jr. only hunts high fence stone sheep, and I'm just like, how many stone sheep are inside of a fence? I mean, I don't remember. So yeah, he's good, but I think he's just busy, and he's got a job to do, and we want to win. So maybe after the win, I could put you guys in touch.
Yeah, that'd be gangster. That would. I only need like 30 from him. That'd be sick.
He's just like bullshitting like me and you, just talking about hunting, sheep hunting, killing elk, He just
Apparently, I'm super close to his ranch in the unit that I'm in. I don't know if you know where his is at. I'm not gonna say where I've been hunting, but actually,
uh-uh.
I probably could. I'm not gonna apply there again. Fuck that place. But
I didn't know that, but no, I'm guys in touch. But he'll probably
yeah,
off because he probably tells a lot of people that. But he's a super cool dude. I mean, it's just like this, just bullshitting with Don, just about hunting and stuff, and sheep and fishing and all kinds of stuff. You know?
I'll have to start training you for free if you get Don J on the pod.
Oh yeah, cool. Save so much money. Okay, man, it was real. Thank you. When's it?
Always look. Stay on real quick. I'm gonna cut this off. Sound good?
Okay, do it.
All right.